So, hello, my fellow Blockhead beauties. It's another episode of A Day in the Life of a Blockhead with your girl, that Wahlburgers chick. And today we have my guest, Mireya, and she's from Arizona. Say hi, Mireya.
Hello.
Hi. And so this show, just in case you guys don't know, it's for the fans by the fans for NK Airplay Radio, and we're talking about your story. So I invite all of you to come on the show and give us all your amazing stories about anything dealing with you and meeting the guy. So today we're gonna talk about Medea's experience. So my first question to you, girl, how old were you when you first discovered New Kids, and what song made you fall in love with them in the first place?
I would say I was 13 and Please Don't Go Girl was on the radio.
Please don't
I
go.
mean, Please Don't Go Girl, I just heard it and kept hearing it and fell in love, you know? Went and bought the Hanging Tough CD. No, no, yeah, no tape. Back in the day, it was the tapes.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but that little voice that came out. Oh my God, because that was my song too. I fell in love with New Kids and I love Please Don't Go Girl. But I want to know your story, girl. So, okay, so you heard the song, you fell in love with them. What happened next?
I think a lot of like what happened across the US, my room became covered in their posters. I always tell the story of Um, we're a low income family, so we qualified for the free lunch program, but we're in, junior high, high school, and we didn't want that. And so my dad would give us each 20 bucks, and that was three of us. So that was a lot of money, but he did it so we can go eat out off campus. And I would go to Circle K and buy all the magazines, all the bubble gum, all whatever, they had all that memorabilia.
Mhm.
By like Tuesday, Wednesday, my 20 was gone. And he's like, here, this time use it for food. He was understanding. I mean, for being such a traditional Mexican male, like I think he's like, well, this is innocent. This is something that she loves. So he gave into it.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So then you had your entire room covered up with
I
posters.
did. I had the walls, I had the telephone, I had the dolls, I had the bed sheets, I had the tapestries were on the ceiling because those are huge.
Oh,
I mean, and I've been looking for pictures and I don't know what my mom did with them. I found one, but I haven't found the rest. Like I would love to see the room again. I had the ear, like I had everything. Like people knew me in high school as the New Kids on the Block fan. I was pretty shy, but they knew that about me.
yeah, yeah, I think that's the most of the case for all of us, right? You wore
Yeah.
the pins and the t-shirt, you wore all of that, right? Just
Yeah. T-shirts, earrings, big pins,
Mhm.
my shorts and everything. Yeah. It
We had
was
like the
a lot.
trapper keepers and we put like the pictures inside so that it can be front and center on the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I love that.
It was just, I mean, I think that was just all I did was listen to music. Like music was a big part, but like collect New Kid stuff.
Right.
I mean, and there's another story where like it's a sad story where all of my stuff got thrown away. Oh, regret it so much. But there was a dumpster full in my apartment when I was leaving. I had graduated college and yeah, it's a sad story. I couldn't do it. My then boyfriend, who's my husband now, and my brother took it out in the trash. I could not get rid of it, which I regret.
Yeah.
Regret.
Oh my Girl, I know I feel you. I feel you. But as an adult, we're able to like recollect, we can go on eBay,
Yeah.
find all these things and we can buy them. So I know I had to
So
do. Mhm.
yeah, no, like I have my own office here at the house. I work mostly from home, but it has some of my favorite posters of them now that they're older. And then I have my cutouts that join my celebrations. So they've been with me for less than a year, but and then I have my selfies that I've gotten all my selfies on canvas in my computer room. And it's just amazing to think that I have all those selfies. There's two more that are needed of Joe that I saw him last in New York City during Waitress and in Red Bank in New Jersey in 2020, my last outing before the whole pandemic hit. So
Yeah.
glad I went because I saw him. Yeah, that last year.
That is awesome. So going back to when you was a child, right? Did you get to see them in concert when you was little?
I did. And it was September 1990, the Magic Summer Tour. They were here. I want to say it's Phoenix, Chandler in that area, but it was an outdoor venue. Don't know why they would do that in September in Arizona, hot, but it was an outdoor venue. And my dad took me and two girlfriends. And like I said, he was very, my dad's very traditional, but he would do these little things that now I look back as adult. They were just so meaningful, to me. Like then it was like, oh, I want, but now it's like I have that memory, and it's just like, oh, he did that for me. He did that for me and my friends for my happiness. So the seats weren't that great, but I was there, and I remember he took back in the day. Remember, you would have to go to Dillard's or whatever department store was selling tickets, and we lined up for like a couple of hours before, like and I ended up buying my ticket off of some mom for like double the price. Like it was like what was going to happen in the future, right? I was like, cannot get enough of him. But yeah, he took me to get that. He stood there for hours, just parked there for hours, just waiting for us to get our tickets. So that was my only concert. Like I said, we didn't get to do a lot of those things, but it's like my first concert, new kids, my dad, just wonderful memories.
So when you got your tickets, right? You and your girlfriends have planned. I think like most of us will have like a ritual that we'll do. We'll be listening to New Kid songs all day. Maybe you were writing on your clothes. Maybe you were painting, I love Joey, or making your makeshift signs and bedazzling. Did you do any of that stuff?
I didn't. I just remember a friend went over. She wasn't going to go, but she went and she curled my hair. We listened. My other two friends were there at my house, and we all got ready. But no, none of that. Just listen to music and get ready. Like, but the excitement, of gosh, I'm going to see them in person.
Yeah, you're
Hear
hyping.
them in person. Yeah, and as a teenager, you let your fantasies, run wild, and like, oh, what if I meet them? It didn't happen back in the day, but it wouldn't stop me from thinking that. And back then I was a John girl, loved John, still do. He was my fave. Just, I think I felt his personality more. He's a little more introverted as I am. He's, he wasn't out there like the other guys. And so I fell for that, and it was like, I liked that. And he was handsome. So that was my guy then back in the day was John.
Oh man, that's so awesome. So did you go and get all the dolls and stuff like we did and the plushies
Yeah,
and all that? Yes.
yeah, I did. I
Joy.
tell you, all my money would go there. Not like whatever additional money I had, and then like my lunch money would go. So it was
Yeah,
that's
it
it.
was
That's
like,
my room.
do I eat today or do I get that
I
John?
mean, yeah, I would get something, probably, not healthy, but
Back then we had penny candies. I would just take a quarter and I would spend it on the candy and the rest went on New Kids, Big Bopper, magazine, whatever I can get my
Big Bopper, Tiger Beat, remember? Oh, it was just
get some posters and then have to decide what side am I gonna put
gonna
because
use, yes.
I'm like, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, girl. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I love it. I love it. So, you've been a blockhead for like ever since the beginning, obviously. So then I know when the Christmas album came out, did you get it? You had to have it.
I had to have it. Got it. Um, yeah, I listened to it nonstop, even when it wasn't Christmas. I still do. More around the holidays during October. I'll listen to my Christmas, New Kids Christmas music. So
Okay,
yeah.
and so now we rewind to 94 and they broke up.
So it was I don't know what word to use, but it was like I had just started college. I was going to ASU. Um, my life was going in another direction. So it didn't hit me as hard as I thought it would hit me. I remember one of my friends being like, hey, the New Kids are going to be at, I think Club Rio was this really, really small area by ASU. And I was just like, really? And I was like, man, that's a small place because, they were huge. And then for them to be doing it, but minus John. And so I was just like, I don't know, is it the same without John? So I don't even know if I got tickets. I had tickets. I don't know, but I didn't know it was canceled. Like they just stopped touring, so I didn't even get the chance to go. But and then that I think you're trying to find yourself as an adult living independently, and my life went in a totally different like the music, the genre I listened was to more Mexican, rock en español, like different music that I was hanging out with my friends in college. So it didn't affect me as much as I think it would. And I remember seeing, what was that MTV show? Pop, whatever. Well, I don't know, where they would try to like, so I remember them talking to Danny and being like, is there going to be a reunion in the 90s? And he's like, no, that's never going to happen.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you remember that?
yeah. It was a
Like they caught him outside of his living area.
yeah. It was trying to reunite them for one night
Yeah.
only. Remember that?
Yeah, and Danny, right? They caught Danny and he was like, no. And I was like, well, it's not going to happen. They're all doing their own thing. And even when their solo things were happening, like Jordan was doing his solo thing, Joey was doing his solo thing, I wasn't following. I know, I feel like a bad blockhead for saying that, but it was just my life had gone in a different direction. And that was like my teenage years. And this was like me figuring out adulthood. And it was in a different way. So,
Well, that was in '94, but then 2008 came around. And then here they're getting back together. Now I gotta know, when you heard those words, what went through your mind? How did you feel?
you know, I was pregnant with my second child.
Mm.
I was a mother. So I wasn't as excited as like now if you told me that, like, I'd be, ooh, but I had a toddler, I was pregnant. And I know this is so weird, but it's like my life was motherhood, being a wife. And so I remember my roommate from ASU, Mari, she's like, hey, your boys, because everyone at ASU knew I was a big New Kids fan, your boys are going to be on Good Morning America. And I was like, well, I'll catch it if I can. See, that's how I was like, but this is honestly where I was in life. And so I missed the casino tours. I missed all those intimate, like when they got back, how everyone says it was just wonderful because there's intimate and small. Man, my life was motherhood and I missed it all, which let me just transition it to, I think when I heard the remix, when they did that song off the 10 album, that was like, I think my 2008 feeling that everyone else had. That
Right.
was like, that song, just like Please Don't Go Girl, caught me. And I said, let me go get the CD. And and I went and I got it and I listened to it over and over and over. And I'm like, I have to see them. I have to see them. So I think that was the first package tour, right? Around 2013. And I went, I bought tickets, just any tickets, like I was like, I'll just go, and I was just like, I hope they play their old stuff, and I was just like, because that was just what I knew. And I went, and I kid you not, the feelings of being a teenager came back. Like I think that was a lot of what people felt in 2008, but I felt that in 2013.
Mhm.
I was like, Donnie looked my way, then I don't even know if he did because I was so far, but to me, I'm like, he looked at me, right? So it was just like, Donnie always makes everyone feel like that. Like he looks at you and it's you. And so I remember coming home, putting on Facebook, teenage status, happy. And from that moment on, I was like, I deserve to do things for me. Because I think I was so caught up in motherhood and being a wife and working that I never took time for me because you know what? I did everything I was supposed to do. I went to college, I graduated, I got a job, I got married, I had kids. But
Mhm.
that to me was like, do something for yourself, Mireya. And that is where it all began. That package tour, and they came to Phoenix. That's when Donnie was kissing all his fans, remember? And I was like, "Ooh, Donnie!" Yeah. But then he met his wife, and that stopped. But I was like, "Damn," So that to me, so I know 2008 was really really important to a lot, but to me was 2013. So, and I'm just being honest because my life was somewhere else.
Right, right, right.
Um,
I mean,
it
we
was just focusing on my kids.
yeah, we grew up,
That's what I, yeah,
just
I mean, I had little ones. I didn't have, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay, that's okay. They grew up, they had kids as well. They got married, you know.
Yeah.
Now there are new men on the block, and it's like, oh my God, they're
Yeah, I did a lot of catching up. Like I ordered the Block CD. Was just like YouTubing everything, and it would just take me back and feel so good. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what these guys do to us, but it just brings happiness to me. Like honestly, like I've been in a little off right here, but I've been in a little mood myself. My little cat of like 17 years, I had to put him away. I was just dealing with work stuff and just life stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But I was like, but I'm going to talk about new kids. So just like getting ready to do that, like had me excited. I'm extremely shy, like anyone who knows me. But I got to know you because of new kids. I've reached out to strangers who have a new kid shirt. I'm like, you like them too? I love them. And so I start chit chatting. So this has been like my one thing in life that just I put my guard down, and it's just like to have fun. And it's a great thing because someone as timid and shy as me, like, but I've met some great friends because of them. And but it's not only that, it's the fact that we're just a great big part of why I love them, but that feeling they give you. And no one can explain it. We only feel it, right? You know it.
right.
All the other fans know it. It's just this great feeling of just fun, and you're living life, and you're living in that moment, right?
Yeah,
So
we have built this whole community around these five guys, and it's almost like I tell everyone they spoiled us for the rest of the celebrities of societies, because now if I meet another celebrity and I don't get the same kind of treatment that you get when you see the guys, when you see Donnie especially, it's like,
mm-hmm.
oh, all right, whatever. You can't help it because they spoiled us. And there has been so many friendships and so many families built, so many stories, whether you went solo, because I know you went solo and I went solo on the cruise, and this is how we met, whether you went with a group of people, and it doesn't matter because you have so much fun and they make it that way. There's guy blockheads, whether they want to admit it or not. I would love to get some of them on the show. Guys, I'm shouting you out. Because they initially went, maybe because their girlfriends made them go, and the guys knew they're not here for us, but then they end up becoming fans because they see the love that they give us back, that we give them, and they're just amazing, and that's why we do shows like this, right?
Yeah.
And so now you have 2013, that's your 2018. Did you also catch up on getting like the solo albums, like Jordan's albums,
I sure did.
Joey?
I sure did. And I'm like, what? Like, I missed out on all this? Well, I mean, I so from that 2013 show, and then they did the Vegas residency, and I did three of those shows, and I got to go to three of those after parties. And I think we'll discuss this later on, but that to me was like a big point of like this fandom of this. God, I can't get enough of you guys. It's just like that to me happened. But it also like because they did that residency, and I first found out about the cruise. I'm like, wait, what? They cruise? But I'm scared of flying. I'm scared of oceans, everything. So I kind of put it off that year. And then they got their star on the Walk of Fame, and I went by myself. Totally flew there, went by myself, knew no one, right? And they allowed me to like go places that I never thought I would and enjoy myself. Like even by myself, like, but I ended up meeting, it's just the weirdest thing. I live in a small town called Maricopa here in Arizona. Um, Someone from Maricopa was there. Like I never met her here in my own town, but I met her there in line, right? And so it was the weirdest thing. And then you just meet friends, and I did my own thing, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm gonna do as many new kids things as I can. My kids were a little older now, and then I think my husband doesn't understand it, but it's okay. It's not for him to understand. I only need to understand it. But he he gets it that it makes me happy. So he's like, go for it. Right. So I mean, what more can I want? So
Good when you have that support.
yeah,
But
I mean,
Like I gotta get a shirt that says my husband supports my Donnie crazy, stuff like that. That's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I've seen him going with you places. I mean, he's traveled to like he'll travel with me to get the traveling, but I'm like, okay, let me go do my thing with my friends, and then you do your thing, and it works out, because he gets to go to New York. He's got to go to California. He has gone to the plays with me, because he does like that. But but yeah, and if I go by myself, I'm okay with it. Like that was a big like lesson I learned. It's okay to do things by yourself. And a
yeah.
lot of times they'll say you'll meet friends but me being so shy, it's like, it's kind of hard. But like I met you, you're like, girl, are you going on the cruise? And I'm like, yes, are you, because you saw my shirt, right? And that's how we started talking.
Yeah,
I met another friend like
yeah,
that.
it was 2017. We met in New Orleans. Believe it
Mhm.
or not, that was the first time in my entire life that I've ever been on a plane. Okay. So it took me to be in my 40s to get
Mhm.
on a plane, and I did it because of them. Okay. Now, my
They make us do.
right, it's like, because I was deathly scared to fly. And I could never afford it being a mom also because I was a single mom. I have four girls, you know the story. So I said, okay, well, this is the year that I'm gonna go. Now, unfortunately, my bestie was supposed to come with me and she had passed away. So I had to do that trip because I was like, no, she was supposed to be with me. I have to do this trip now because she never got to go on the cruise. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go. Now I remember sitting in a restaurant by my hotel room. I'm sitting with my godmother. I look out the window. I said, Madrina, look, I see two girls there, and look, they're wearing a new kid shirt. They're here for the cruise. I know it, I know it. And I was about to run out of the restaurant to go and talk to you, but then it's like, okay, Madina was like, well, the food is about to come. So I was like, all right, fine. Luckily, you walked into the restaurant and then you girls decided to sit like at the table that was right across. And I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going to talk to them. That's when I started talking to you. And then the rest is history. And because of the love for these guys, we
Mhm.
and that's like the story for a lot of people. Cause then I was like, girl, you going on that cruise? And you was like, yes. And I was like, oh snap, that's it. We gonna party. And then yeah, we had lots and lots and lots of fun.
We did.
Yeah, we
And I
did.
was thankful I met you because I'm not going to be mean, but things didn't go as well as planned with my roommate. But I had you to hang out with, and I had you, and I felt comfortable with you. And there's very few people. I mean, I don't know how that sounds, but to get me out of my comfort zone, even with new kids, like I can talk to you about new kids, but to be like, hey girl, what's your cabin number? Give me your number. So we just started chit chatting, and just like I really got along with you and your madrina, and I was just like, oh, I'm so glad I met them, So and you did something wonderful for me. Like, I don't know, can we touch on that really quick?
We can, sure. Fun.
Um, so you got a lot, you got attention from the guys on that cruise. And I remember the first night and I was like, Raven, like I was way up there, and the guys pulled you up and I was so happy for you. And I was just like, yes, she got to meet them and hug them and everything, and you had that picture of your friend who had passed away, Alma. And so I was so happy with you. And so, Donnie gave you his wristbands for the after hour parties. And I was so happy. I was like, yes, I think that's the good thing when you get to live like through the experiences of other fans. Like, yeah, there might be a little jealousy, but like deep down, it's just such happiness, which I would wish anyone would feel that if I ever got those moments, right? So I was so happy for you. And then I think you're like, you want to go? And I was just like, yeah, let's go. And so we went. Girl, you and your outgoing personality were just dancing. I'm tired. Okay. I'm just like tired. I'm like, no, this is Donnie's after party. Everyone wants to get in. And I was just like, okay, I'm dancing. And then Donnie comes and it's like, holy shit, this is real. Like my kids and I to this day laugh at this story, but so he's dancing with everyone. And then you hold his hand and you guys are dancing. And I was just like, that's Donnie Wahlberg, like right there, right? And then he dances with you, and then he's like in front of me. It's like, okay, it's your turn. He's so nice. Too real for me. I like literally turned around and acted like he wasn't there. And my so disappointed in me when I told them that story. They're like, "You'll never get that chance again." Mom, I can't believe you did it. And I just laugh because that's just me. That's just awkward, shy Mireya, And I think a lot of like, well, some of the fans that I'm friends with kind of have that story where it's just too real. Like,
Yeah.
we've envisioned it, we've thought it in our minds, but for it to happen,
Yeah.
for me,
No, well,
so, but you gave me that opportunity. I blew it.
yeah, it's okay.
Sorry, Donnie. No offense. It was just me and this is too much for me. Like, this can't be real life, So,
But,
but yeah, and it was such a great memory that I'll always remember it. And you gave it to me. So I really, really appreciate it.
I mean, you were awesome. So I was like, I gotta get her in. Like, she has to come with us because I didn't think about like when they had asked me how many people are with you. I only said two because I only thought about me and Madina because I was in such a different headspace because of what he had done for my best friend. It was
Yes.
all about her, and he gave her that moment of silence and all that. That's like another story. But I was like, oh my God, like when they took me backstage, Jordan Knight was standing behind me, and I didn't even notice because I was so in awe. And then I was like, oh, please, let's take a selfie, and I took a selfie with I got to hang out with John by his room, Danny, all of this. So I understand that feeling of, nah, this is surreal. Now, I was really calm and cool in front of them, but inside I was like, ah! I was losing my mind. And then I was like, oh my God, I gotta get her in because she totally gotta come. And then that's when I was able to, and I was like, oh yes, we in there. Ooh, ooh. But I know that moment because in 2014 was the first cruise I went on when they left from New York. And a long story short, Donnie got to pull me up on stage, and I finally get there. Like the whole night I'm trying to get there, people are telling me, girl, these girls are not gonna let you anywhere near there. I'm like, I'm from the Bronx, I'll get it, don't worry about it. And I figured it out, and I said all I need is for Donnie to lock eyes and he's gonna pick me, watch. And then I did all this with my hair, and he calls me. I get up there, and you know what I did? Nothing. I was like, looking at me, I'm staring at him, and he's like, and I'm just like, so I just start dancing. Like it was so stupid. I didn't know what to say. all this time I fought to get there. I get there, and then I don't know what the hell to say to him. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Because it was on the cruise, people were recording it. And I said, I will never, ever do that again if I had another opportunity. And then I did. And then you saw what happened. Because I was like, I'm not doing that again. I get an opportunity. I'm not going to just not say anything. But he was there, and I was like, oh, I think I'm supposed to get a selfie now or something. I don't know. I didn't even dance good, girl. I was just like,
No, and I think, I mean, and that's you. You're outgoing. You're that, hey,
but
you talk to anyone person.
I froze
But
that day. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, for them to like do that to you, so you can imagine what that moment what Donnie did to me, who I can't talk to anyone. I'm very to myself. So I was just, but it was sweet. Like I just remember laughing at it, like because that's all I can do, right? And to this day, when I have that memory, it's a wonderful memory, and I laugh, and it's just wonderful memory. It's my memory, so
yeah.
even though I didn't get that dance, I mean, I don't like to dance in public as so, can you imagine dancing with Donnie? It was just too much.
Actually, I'm not for nothing. My next goal, if I can, Jordan, I'm coming for you because I totally want to dance suavemente. I saw him do that with someone, and I'm like, oh no, we gotta dance. So I want to dance suavemente with Jordan. We will figure this out on the next one.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. So girl, we know that you got on the cruise, and for those that never been on the cruise, we have cruise stories. And did you decorate your door?
Gosh, I'm lazy. I did 1 year, but I was so drunk. Those drinks hit you hard, right? Like I remember going and I was like 2 mojitos in, and this is the year I met you, 2000. Yeah. I just put like a little story of my background with new kids, and I think a couple pictures, but it wasn't like all out. I've never been that. And then I've always said, I'm going to decorate. But I mean, you get there, you start drinking and that all flies out the window. So I've never been a big planner. I know I've been in groups where they're like, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. And the cruise that was last year, that was postponed from last year, I think my roommate was going to decorate, but I don't know. We'll see when that happens again if I'll decorate. I mean, can't wait, right? Just be there on that boat with that drink in your hand.
Yeah,
Um,
girl, I feel you because it's the first thing they do as soon as you set foot on the cruise. You want a drink? You want a drink? You want a drink? They have it. And it's like, yeah.
well, and then you want that drink because you want the keepsake glass, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so I was like, yeah, and then they just start coming one after another, and you get drunk. Like I don't even remember the mustard drill. I don't even. Well, no, and it comes out. My roommate that year sent me video. I can't find it though. We're like, I was so buzzed that Donnie and Jordan were like holding our hands or something like that, really close to us during the sail away. Nope, no memory. And I was like, I can't believe I did that. Like, no memory. Like if she wouldn't have showed me that video, I would have never believed it. And we only could tell because it's our little hands and she had like a certain nail polish, and I was like, oh my gosh, they were that close to us. And I had no clue. So, but it's good fun.
I love the story. Yeah, elaborate some more. So now you also became a mom and you share in these moments with your children. Do you have baby Black?
Well, oh shoot, which tour was it? I forget. But anyways, it was after 2013. And when they toured again, I was going to go to Phoenix, and I had bought myself a decent ticket. And then my son, who was younger, was like, Mom, you're not going to take us. And I said, no, I already bought my ticket. And then he's just like, but you said you take us. And then I was just like, so I Googled it. And then I was just like, well, I think they opened in Vegas. I'm just going to take them to Vegas. I told my husband, let's go to Vegas. And he's like, why? I go, so I can take the kids, well, my two older kids, Lucas and Nayeli, to go see them. And he's like, okay. And I go, you can hang out with the little one, Luna, and I'll go to the concert. And so I took them, but it was the concert with TLC and Ellie, which it was a long concert, right? So by the time new kids came on, my kids were exhausted. They were like, what, 6 and 8 at that time. But I got to spend that time with them, and I loved it. I made all of us personal shirts. Nayeli had all the guys' names. I had a Blockhead for my son, and I did I love new kids. And I think that's when I started prepping for new kids adventures, because before it was just let me just go and do whatever. And this is that concept that I was like, oh, let's make homemade shirts. Let's, that was the concert I took them to. And then I started doing my own thing. And then I remember clearly I had gone to see them at the Apollo. It was my birthday. It was my 43rd birthday. And I was like, it's a sign, I have to be there. And I had never been to New York. The thought terrified me flying that far. But I'm like, if I get tickets, it's meant to be. Well, I got tickets, and it turned out that things happened, and I told my husband, you want to join me? Not to go, but just join me, because New York kind of scared me. I was like, yeah, I don't want to be by myself. And he's just like, yeah, I'll go. So our first time visiting New York was because of new kids. So I got to see them on October 7th on my 43rd birthday. Remember, I had a shirt, Sharon Knight made it for me. Something like celebrating my 43rd birthday while hanging tough, something like that. And I had a crown on that said 43. And I was just like, I'm going to do it because it's my birthday and this is what I wanted to do. And then the next day, I think it was the following day, my husband and I are at Central Park, just walking, just enjoying our time there. And then the new kids released their upcoming tour dates. And so I looked and I was just like, when are they going to be in Phoenix? Because, I'm from Arizona. And I laughed and I laughed. My husband's like, why are you laughing? He says, I'm like, because they're going to be here on your birthday. And I go, and I'm sorry. I go, but I'm going, right? And he's like, of course I know you're going to go. And I was just like, haha. And it was a joke because he's a couple months younger than me. And I was like, well, you can wear my shirt, because he was going to turn 43. And he's just like, whatever. So I just remember I bought the pre-sale tickets, and I had asked my girls when I figured out that Debbie Gibson and Tiffany were also going to be on that mix, on that show. we had been listening to Tiffany and Debbie Gibson in the mornings when we would get ready for, the girls would get ready for school and get ready for my day. And I said, hey, do you guys want to go see New Kids with me? Because Tiffany and Debbie Gibson are going to be there. And my little Luna, she's my youngest, she's like, yes, I want to see Debbie Gibson. I want to see Debbie Gibson, other than New Kids, right? And I was like, okay. I go, okay. So I think they're at their grandma's when pre-sale started. And then I was just like, okay, here goes pre-sales. We all know how crazy that can get, right? Cruises, concerts is just all a mess. And so it kept kicking me out and so by the time I got tickets, it was the 16th row. And I was just like, oh, fine, I'll do it, I was on the floor, it was the 16th row. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, my girls are short, they're not gonna see, right? And then they're like, are we going? I was like, no, this is like 7 months in the future. This is what New Kids does. We plan months, years in advance, and then we go. And then I remember one day I was picking them up from school, and then I said, let me look to see if they have VIP available, and if they do, maybe I should just do it and buy it for the girls. And they did. And I was like, but they're pretty pricey, and then for 3. And I was just like, my husband's gonna kill me. I'm like, oh, screw it. I never do anything like this. I was just like, I bought them on a whim, just sitting out there waiting for my girls. I bought them. And then I started to cry. Oh. Just because to think that I could be in the position that I could do this for my girls. Like I said, humble, low income family, I'm trying to do the best, trying to give my, that's how I was raised. But the experiences I didn't have, I wanted to give it to them. And I could do it, right? And so I bought them. My husband rolled his eyes like he always does. But then we started planning, like looking on stock, because there's limited little girl size, t-shirts. So I started looking around. How are you going to do your hair? What are you going to say? And so Nayeli is pretty shy like me. She's like, oh, Mom, I don't want to talk. Do I have to talk? And I was like, no, you don't have to talk. Luna's like, oh, this is what I'm going to say. And this is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to tell them, you love them, Mom, and you're there. And I was like, oh, you're so sweet. Okay. So, two different, my little girl, one wants to talk, the other one doesn't. So anyways, May 22nd, was it 2019, right? Mixtape 2019. Came, took the girls out early, and her teacher's like, I'm going to the concert. Why is your mom taking you out? And Luna's like, because we have VIP. It was so cute, telling her teacher that we had VIP. So we got them ready. I did their hair. I tried, we were going to go eat or whatever, but we didn't. And then they realized what fans do. They're like, how long are we going to stand in line? Because they check you in. And then, that whole waiting. I'm like, girls, you're about to welcome to the world of New Kids, where all you do is wait, right? On the Lido decks, at the concerts, outside, helping to look, to see them. But they're troopers, they were troopers. And so it gets, I think we're the last group in Phoenix. And I'm nervous, but not as nervous as usual. And then it's our turn. And then, so I'm like, hugging, I think Danny was first, and I hugged him. And then I just went to mom mode. I was just like, no, this is my daughter, Nayeli, this is Luna. And then Danny was sweet. He's like, he's like, I like your shirt. And then he pointed to my daughter, Luna, which made her feel good, right? And then it was Donnie. And then Donnie, man, I wanted to briefly, because you know how they hurry you, I wanted to briefly tell him how that first concert that we went in Vegas is such a cute story. We had pretty nosebleed seats, and by the time the New Kids came, Donnie looked in our direction. And it's like the same thing that happened to me. My little 6-year-old Nayeli, she's like, Mom, Donnie looked at me. He smiled at me. 6-year-old said that, right? I was just like, I was like, Mija, he makes all of us feel like that, but it's so true, right? Like I felt that when I went to that 2013 concert. She felt that her first concert. So I was trying to tell him, hey, we didn't have the best seats, but my daughter looked at me and she told me this. And this is what Donnie said. He's like, because I did. He goes, I did see her. And I was like, oh my God. He probably didn't, but to make her feel good, he said it, And I was just like, bless you. You are just the kindest, So, but then, and then Jordan, and then, we hug with him, and then Joe, and that's who we're standing with, because in 2014, remember the exact moment at that Planet Hollywood, the first day I became a Joe girl. Just remember it. He just high-fived me or something like that. He passed by, instant Joe girl. Like, since then, it's just been like, oh, Joe. But he's like talking to them like, hey, is this your first concert? And this and that. And I'm like, I wanted the guys to hear my daughter's names. Like, I've always wanted them to hear my name because it's pretty different, right? No one says it right. It's Mireya. And I think I've told Joe a couple of times when I've met him. But as a mom, I was just like, this is Luna and this is Nayeli. And then I remember Donnie telling my Nayeli that her glasses are cool. John hugging them. And then I think they made a comment on how good John's hugs were too. Like, weird things that we know, but that they picked up on. And I honestly never told them that. And so, and one of my little ones is like, does he smoke? Because I smell smoke on him, which is weird, right? And I was like, yes. But, it was so fast. And then I felt bad because my trying to introduce them, like, took any time for my girls to talk to them. So I kind of really felt bad after that. And I was like, I feel bad, but I don't know. It's just the mom in me that wanted my girls to be seen. So it was their moment, right? And everyone was like, oh my gosh, if it's, I would be too shy to ask to be, hey, can my girls be your cover girl? Like, I would be too shy, like that has to happen naturally or whatever. But my little Luna was kind of upset. She's like, why didn't we get to be Donnie's cover girl? And I was like, whoever it's going to be, it's going to be great. But it was great. It was the original cover girl from their videotape. Remember when they did the concert? It was her and her daughter.
Yeah,
And so I was just like, I can't be mad. It's just awesome that now her and her daughter get that moment. So, so the concert's going, and you know what taught me, like, that was my first, I think that was my first concert of that tour. I ended up doing 5 shows that tour, but my Luna found the confetti, the big balloons, the things that, we're like, oh yeah, that's New Kids. But she found it so entertaining and so wonderful that I was like, oh, that's great that she loved that. And I remember If You Go Away came, they were singing it. Tears are rolling down my eyes. And they're like, why are you crying? I'm like, I'm happy. I'm just happy. And at that moment, I was just like, not only am I able to do this still, but I'm able to just create this memory with my girls, which means so much to me, I mean, they're not like, they like New Kids, but like they're growing in their own ways, but they will have that memory. That was Luna's first concert. She did VIP. I mean, not bad. That was Nayeli's, I think, 3rd concert, but her 2nd New Kids, she did VIP. And they have those moments of where we enjoyed ourselves, so and I guess that's why that's one of my memories that sticks out, because it's like, it was a family thing. Like, my husband understood, hey, you have to go, you're gonna go, it's my birthday, fine. He had a nice dinner with my son, and me and my girls just had the time of our lives. They were so exhausted though, and then the next day was the last day of school, but so they had to go to school, but they were so exhausted. But so we didn't do anything, we just drove home and just hang out. But just that memory, and we go through pictures, and like, I replay that moment constantly, just because it's I don't know, I never thought I'd have those moments as an individual, but to share them with my daughters,
right.
It's something else.
Well, see, that is the moments that these guys create for us, and this is why we appreciate and love them so much. They're very knowledgeable as to what we go through to see them. So they take the time out to show us some love. If we come with our kids, to show our kids love. If we come with our husbands, they know our husbands aren't there for them, so they show them love. Yo, bro, I got you. I know, I get it, And it is amazing that your kids and your husband end up becoming a fan eventually, because they're just so cool,
Well,
right?
yeah, and then a short little story. When Joe was doing A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the shoot, I think that's the play on the Forum in Burbank. I was like, I gotta go. I missed his play he did in Colorado, like, about him. So I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta do these things. And then Ernie's like, my husband, he's like, I want to go. And I was like, just to like go. He's like, no, I want to see the play. And I was like, okay, we got it, right? So we went, and then the day of the show, like it finished, it was great. It was wonderful. There's no bad seat in the little theater. And we're just standing around, right? And he's like, what are we doing? I'm like, waiting for Joe. And he's just like, is this what you guys do? And I'm like, yeah, like any afternoon kids event, we wait around, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, Mireya. And I was just like, no, look, I'm not the only one. So don't just think it's me. And then he's like, I'm like, see, he's gonna be signing the programs, you know, I'm gonna go get an autograph. And then I pull out a Sharpie from my purse. It's like, you seriously have a Sharpie? I'm like, you have to. Any new kids event, you have to have that Sharpie ready to go, right? And so it was right after the cruise, and I went, and then I'm just so awkward around them. I don't know. This things, just whatever comes to my mind, I say. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I really say that? But anyways, I got the autograph and a picture. And then my husband was so cool because he took pictures of me getting that picture. So like I have, you know, the little the snapshots. But he's like, okay, you got your picture, you got your autograph to sleep. I'm like, no, Joe's still in the building. Like, why are we gonna leave? He's like, you're crazy. I was like, but I'm not the only one. No one else is leaving. Why am I gonna leave? You know, we're in Burbank. We flew all. Joe is right here, right next to us. And I'm like, I would love a picture of you too. And then he's just like, he's like, fine. He goes, let's go. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, wait, what if Joe says no, I already got a picture, whatever. And then he's like, Joe, he goes, can you take a picture with me and my wife? He's like, sure. He's like, and then my husband proceeds to say, my wife loves you. Bless him. He's telling another man that I love him. My wife loves you. We flew out here to see you, just for you. And then Joe was like, you know, teasing. He was like, it could be worse, right? And then my husband just starts laughing. And I was just like, and we have a picture of me in the middle, Joe, and my husband. I was just like, goodness. And everyone teases me. My friends like, have you framed that? You know, have you put it in your house? And I haven't yet, but I do have a pillow made out of it. I have a pillow with me and my guys. But that, it was just kind of piggybacking off of that my husband will do things for me, you know, because of the new kids. He did that. He went to New York with me to see Waitress. We did our second trip to New York because of new kids. You know, we saw Waitress, and
I was there with you.
and yeah, I hung out with you, met some, hung out with my cruise roommate from the year before, and some other friends that I just met mostly through the cruises, because you know we come from all over. Because usually if you go to the shows, it's mostly the people in that state, right? But from the cruise, they're from all over, and that's where I ended up meeting. You know, like you're from the Bronx, my other friends from the Bronx, Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah.
Idaho, I would have never ever met you guys had it not been the guys, you know. And then there's rough days, and even if it's not new kids related, I reach out to friends, and you know, and it's like it's become a great like friendship, you know, all around friendship. You know, of course, our love and our talks are about new kids, but it can go beyond that, which is what a friendship is, right? But like we have those moments of excitement for each other.
Yeah, they get us through some tough times. You know, we have up and down. Some of us, you know, we lost people. Some of us, you know, we gained family. Some of us probably never had family or close friends until we met people because of these men. So, yeah, I totally get it. And I appreciate that you shared your story with me. So, I'm going to invite you to come back so you can give us some more stories. Okay, how we want to.
So many, like, and I'm blessed that I have those, you know, and just can't wait to make more. You know, it's just like, I get it. I get the pandemic. I get we all need to take care of ourselves, and they wouldn't do anything unless we all can be here, because I know of the travel restrictions and all that. So I get it. I get it as they're caring for all their fans and our well-being. But it's been a long year. it's been a long year. These moments were me moments, even though a lot of them with my husband or my kids, but there are moments that I chose and what I wanted to do. And sometimes, you know, it's good to do that. Or sometimes I would just leave by myself, and my coworkers are like, girl, you're crazy. I'm like, nah, I get a week away. You know, like I get a week away. But I would come back refreshed and thankful, and you know, thankful that I have my family, thankful that they understand and they give me that chance. Like when they did NOLA the second year in a row, I wasn't going to go because I was like, well, it's the same cruise, it's the same city, it's the same port. And my husband, my kids are like, go. I'm like, why? They're like, because you were so happy. So, I mean, so I bought it, I booked it, don't tell me again, but that's, I get the love and the support from them. And then I get the love and support from friends. And, and I'm thankful because like I said, I'm pretty to myself and I don't trust all that much, but tell you these new kids, they stranger, I'm like, hey, you like them? I see your shirt, they do something to me that, if other than alcohol, I won't just talk to anyone. So it has to be either new kids involved or alcohol. And then I'm like a social butterfly, but yeah. So yeah, I'd love to tell you
So,
more of my stories.
so now my last question would be, if they so happen to see this video, because we are not related in any way,
I
shape, or
know.
to Wahlburgers or New Kids. Okay, this is a fan-run station. Is for the fans by the fans. Just to clear that up. So now, but in the event that they do get to see this video, what is your message to the guys?
Just thank you. I know everyone says it, but from the bottom of my heart, like for me, it's like I said, like I've had a crappy couple of weeks. Your music, your YouTubes, your memories, the planning of, can't wait to do this again just gets me through so much. Also, I've been blessed to like meet you guys on the like each individually do to the cruise, because we all get that photo group that you kind of say, but they rush you, whatever. I remember Donnie told me I was beautiful and I love you, and I was like, oh, thank you. And I just sometimes feel like the quiet fans, I know this is kind of somewhere, but like we're there, we want to say things, but it's just hard. So just for me, I think personally, because every time I see Joe, I've seen you in Burbank, I've seen you in Hollywood and New York, New Jersey. I mean, I go everywhere to see you. I try to tell you every time I'm from Arizona, hoping that like, I'm gonna remember her, right? And then my name's different, Mireya. So I was like, I think once in Hollywood, I asked you to say it, and I was just like, but I don't know, I just want you guys to know that my little awkwardness is my way of showing my appreciation and my love for you guys. Because I have some good laughs sometimes. I think on one cruise, I told John I was meat free for 7 months. I mean, I laugh when I think about that, but I don't know what else to say. Because he was he's vegan or vegetarian or whatever, and that's the only thing that popped in my head. And I figured he'd be proud of me, and and so me and my friend Sybil, who stood next to him, we laughed because I mean, but I'm authentic and awkward, and I love you guys, and just thank you for everything.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank
Okay.
you for getting me out of my comfort zone, Raven.
Of
Thank you.
course, I told you, girl. It's fun just talking about the
It
guys
is. It is.
and our experience. So I'm gonna invite you back on another show. Hopefully you'll say yes and we can do this again. And for the rest of my Blockhead beauties, again, if you want to be on the show, just contact NK Airplay Radio. Okay, you can contact me, that Wahlburgers chick. I'm on all the social medias. Okay, and then we can do this, and you can come on and tell your story. So until then, okay, stay safe. Stay humble, and as always, stay
Oh
fabulous.
my God. Thank you.
My Blockhead beauties, and I will see you guys soon.